Hello, everyone, and as always, welcome back to Strategy Gaming Dojo, where we find, learn, and play one more turn of the great strategy games. And today it's back into our Bonsai Challenge. And this is just a really good game. When you've got someone that knows what the hell they're doing on the Japanese side, it's right on the knife's edge. You've got all kinds of decisions to make. I'll show you a few of those this turn, but when everything's really optimized, on the movement, it causes you all kinds of hard decisions, and that makes it a great game in my opinion. Now, let's just look at the turn report. You'll see the UK's now has 10 transports. Yay, but we've got a problem. And we'll get to that in a minute. The US now has 10 transports, finally. He finally took the Philippines here. It was only a matter of time, right? Had no supply, so they were both shattered, and the U.S. Philippine division surrendered. So it went very historically there in the Philippines. India's third corps was destroyed. Now that's what was at Singapore, and the Philippines surrendered. Okay, Mindanao. So we did still have that force down at Davao. Anyway, that had no supply source, but now the Philippines has surrendered, so it's gone away. We've got a few divisions that do not have a supply source. We'll have to go look at that, including 8th Brigade. That was out at Suva, I believe. Convoy attack. Now, these convoy attacks and the way he's doing them have been quite brilliant. And I'll show you why. Now, I couldn't wait to get those British transports, right? The Brits still have no oil. Why is that? Is because he's absolutely bullying the South Pacific and Indian convoys. And because he's doing that, we can't get any oil to the UK. Once he takes up by Lido, that's really the only oil production that the Brits have. And so once they lose that, it's down to the Americans to get it to them. Well, the Americans can't get it through if he's completely shut down uh, the South Pacific and the Indian convoy routes. So we have no oil. We cannot move our transports. Now, he will have to go back into port at some point. Those task forces just can't sit out there forever. And so we've got to keep sending Merch Marines down there through the convoy routes, having them get destroyed until that one turn where he gets off the convoy route, and hopefully then the Brits will get their oil. But until then, there's not a whole lot we can do. All right, so that was the turn report. Let's go to the combat log. There was not a whole lot of action last time. Partisan activity out in Borneo and China. Supply interdiction. Now we're doing that. You can see he did bring up a ship here. I think he was afraid we could move around this way, but we really can't. Um, so yeah, I don't know. That's not going to be very helpful for him. I guess he brought this up. He can't interdict Wellington. It's a national supply source. I think he did that so we couldn't move around here, but we really can't move into that hex anyway. Um, okay, let's see. No, this is land combat. This is where he destroyed the Third Indian Corps down here by Singapore, and then we had more land combat up here by Delhi. As you can see, he pushed us back. Now I took this off of hold, and I'm very, very glad I did now. And why is that? Well, because he took one loss, but he just retreated. He didn't try to sit there and get shattered eventually. So that ends up being okay. Now we've got a real decision to make up here. One wrong move up here and we're really screwed, especially since we can't bring Brit troops up here now, at least until we get any oil. Current partisans. Now, if I had to do it again, speaking of that oil situation, on turn one, take as much or as many convoys as you can, or as many oil points as you can, and dump them into the UK so you don't get into this situation. I'd never encountered this before because I've never seen somebody bully the convoy routes this effectively. So, I mean, I've never in a game had problems getting oil out to the UK. I mean, it would get close at some point, but then I would just send a convoy out there. He's completely dominating them with his carriers, and so we're getting nothing through to the UK. I've just never had this situation, but in the future, to guard against this, what I'll do is on turn one is we'll send as much oil to the UK from the US as we can. It's really very smart. So anyway, we lost two merch marines and then we lost two other merch marines. You can see that's right here. That's what's keeping us from getting oil to the UK. All right, losses. He lost a little bit of naval. US lost some manpower. Japanese lost one. We lost 6 points of Indian and Filipino 11. Okay. Let's go to the deployment screen. The Brits have a new division ready to go right on time to replace the other division that we're going to try to get out of here eventually. Um, yeah, shit. Man, that really stinks. Before we deploy this, this guy's going to go on a transport anyway. I don't think we can deploy into that hex, but let's just see. I just want to make sure. Deploy. Yeah, we can't. That's what I thought. Okay. So anyway, he'll move up there to the next turn. We've got this guy on the transport. Now, if we go here, you'll see what the problem is. We'll take the Ramillies off. We'll put him on stealth mode for the East African Division. And when we try to go up here to go to India, this is the message we get. UK does not have the oil to move this fleet. You can see oil use 1. Ugh. Ugh. I've just never had that happen before. It's a brilliant move on his part. We'll deal with it. Okay, UK low oil supplies. We know that now. Suva, they eventually surrendered. He's now getting low on supply as he's just going to starve this out. Now he's bringing a 7 down here. I don't think that seven's going to get the job done if all he's got is this 1 or 2 hexes. We'll see, but I don't think so. Davao, okay. Now, we've got a decision to make with the U.S. forces when we bring him in, and he's now turned all of his forces in China, for the most part, to active. So we'll talk about that soon as well. So let's continue to deploy. That's the Brits. This is the U.S. They have a brand new small core available over here. So let's get over to the U.S. Where do we want to put them down? Well, we're going to be shipping out of Morro Bay this time. Um, I guess it doesn't, in some respects, it doesn't really matter. Um, we'll want to be taking divisions out like this one at Astoria eventually. So let's just put him down there. That's fine. We have the Comet. We'll also be getting a new division next time. The Hornets upcoming. We get another transport in a couple of turns. We've been building landing ships and transports, etc., etc. Okay, now let's see if we've got anything else. The Soviets doesn't matter. Australia next turn for the Australians. That'll be a very important unit. Like I said, this game, if it's played well from the Japanese side, you're right on the knife edge all the time. We will just be about ready to lose something in Australia, and then that's when we get a unit, and we've got a decision to make. Um, Okay, Canada, nothing. Communist China. India has a unit to deploy, but we're going to come back to that because it's a big, big decision what we do with that unit. All right, so that's our deployment. Nothing really else to do with that. We've looked at the combat log reports. We'll look at casualties. It's looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Just kind of what we would expect or where we would want to be. The Brits can now build a Comet, so we'll do that. I don't think the U.S. can again. We'll build one more with the U.S. and then we'll start trying to break his codes. Research centers, these are all going to stay the same. Convoys, I'm going to keep trying to push in here. I guess I could try to put 20 oil in here. U.S. has plenty of oil now, so let's do 45 and 20 out to the UK if we can. U.S., UK. Let's just do shift 45 and then shift. Whoops. All right, we'll do it the old-fashioned way. There we go. 45 and 20. Um, we'll see. We'll see. We need to get that oil into the UK. You can see the big zero there. Man, does that hurt. Moving on. Well, we could let's look at the Brits. Yeah, they're just sending the 20 production to India. That's all they could send anyway. That's got to be it. We got to get the US getting something out to the UK. All right, let's get up to India and talk about this situation. All right, he's pushed us back here. We've got a headquarters in Delhi. I don't love that at all. Now, one thing we could do is try to combine these two units to give us a stronger unit and then switch these two. Okay, I mean, that's one option. Or we could bring something else around over here and kind of switch places. So, putting this together, let's try to, okay, so this is 42 anti-tank. That's 42 anti-tank. Let's put these two together to make a stronger unit. Okay, and then let's switch places with these two, or also we could move this over here. I actually think that's what we'll do. So let's move him. It's only going to cost him one. And then we've got a 10 of 10 here. We've got an 8 of 10 here. So really this could, well, he can't get on the rail. Anytime the Japanese get right next to you, you can't get on the rail. So this is very smart of him to do, right? He gets up here and touches us, so we can't get around the rail. So really the only place this unit can go is right here. There's no other choice. So he's got to go there. Okay. Now then, we've got this 4 of 4, 3 of 4, so he's 10 and 10, but he's only a 1940 anti-tank. He has not dug in. Now we have that unit to deploy. And it's just a matter how do we want to go about that? I think the best place to deploy him is actually here. I think we leave the headquarters in Delhi and we deploy the new unit here, and then these units could actually combine, maybe even do a third and put him in here, and then we're looking very strong here. Um, I've got him on not retreat. Let's not do that, but let's do that with Delhi. He needs to hold. Okay, he's already like that. He needs to hold no matter what. All right. Tenacity's only a 5 on Giffard, but he's good combat. I wish that was a little higher so he doesn't want to drop back. Now, again, that's only a 1940 anti-tank. This is a 42 anti-tank, 42 assault, 42 anti-tank. What we're going to be deploying, and let's go do that with India, this Waziristan division is ready to deploy, and we held on to Delhi long enough to deploy him. Very, very important that we do that. And now he's down, and let's look at him. He is 10 of 10. He's a 1942 assault. That's awesome. So is he. So they can combine into each other with no production points having to be paid. And then this is 42 anti-tank. Okay, we could eventually maybe bring him in here and, combine him with this, but this force starts to look quite a bit stronger. Not letting him. We could. Mm, 10 of 10, 8 of 10. Oh, I really wish they would be up here. I want to hold this hex. Let's try to hold this hex one more time. Maybe they do have to retreat and push back, and then we'll combine there. See how what a nice position we'd be in if we could bring the British troops in to Bombay next turn, put them right here. That starts to look very, very tough. Um, we could combine. So he's 7 of 10. He's anti-tank 41. He's assault 42. Okay. We could try to combine there and make him even stronger. Uh, hmm. I don't want to get too few units here. I like to stay a little spread out. I don't want him to be able to just land here. He may be coming with more troops to land. Um, I'm going to keep this the same. Right now, we're okay. Now, this unit could potentially get over here and combine with him and put us in a stronger position. But for now, he actually probably would be best off there, but I want to keep him on the rail. That's what I say. I mean, these decisions, they're close. They're close. It's not, I played the game quite a bit at this point now, but I haven't tested every last scenario. And it's just, like this, really combining this probably makes sense, but I don't want to give up this river hex. He's not fully dug in yet, though, and he can get attacked by three sides, but they're all three coming across the river to go here. So I'm not, I would rather probably move him down here and combine them next turn and then put this guy here, something like that. Well, we're going to roll with this situation. Now, another smart thing he's done when you play the Japanese, he's put these planes, he's put his air units here. Why is he doing that? Why are these here? Well, because if we try to land transports here at Bombay, even into the port, he's going to interdict those and quite possibly, deal us some bad results. Okay, so I think that does India. He's just hanging out at Perth. He's probably going to, try to secure this rail line and whatnot. He maybe even pulled out of here. There's nothing to do at Perth, really. He's still got, man, they seem like they've been out here for a long time. I think they've got one turn left. I think maybe we can get the convoys this turn, but I think his gambit is if we hold up the Brits one extra turn, maybe we can get Bombay before he can get British up there. That's how close it is here. Now we've got a problem because he's marching to Canberra. Now his problem is he doesn't have much supply when he gets out here, but it's a little scary because if he takes Canberra, I mean, if we look at our logistics, that's the one national supply source we have in Australia. If he takes it, we're in trouble because then he can blockade Melbourne and Sydney and starve them out, even though we control these two major cities, right? And so I think that's what he's up to. One of the problems we have over here really is that these units are so incredibly weak. I think what I'm going to do is try to combine them. So we've got an assault 40, they're both assault 41. They're both very weak. I'm going to combine the two of them. Um, and leave them right here, or I could put them, I don't want him to be able to land here. I think this is almost impossible landing. Plus we've got air here. Now I guess he could get in here, but what I'm going to do is Brisbane is the one place that I may just, I'm not saying totally sacrifice, but we do need to get a unit over here by Canberra. And so we combine there. We are going to get a fresh division next time. So I'm going to bring this around here. We've still got this here. I like this setup, although potentially it would be smarter to have him over here. 1.1, we looked at this before. The defense is the same. Again, defense is all about off the shoulder. You do not want them to be able to surround any unit from three directions. Now they could, but they have to split their forces to get around it this way. So I think the way we've got this set up is okay. Ideally, maybe he would be over here, but I don't want them to have a free shot here at Melbourne. Um, yeah, I think we're going to have to leave that as is. Brisbane now is exposed a little bit. Put that on priority. 7 of 20. A lot of this is going to upgrading, and maybe I should turn a few of them off. Some of the 10 of 10s for repairs and upgrades, but I don't want to do that with. Yeah, so that's 10 of 10. This is now 5 of 20. I mean, he's got to build up. We've got to have this unit be strong. He's just not there yet. Down here, I don't think there's a damn thing we can do. We could turn him off for repairs and upgrades. I guess I'll do that. And then Wellington and the plane. Okay, now I'm always talking about big decisions to be made. Now, it doesn't really have to be made this turn necessarily, but it's going to have to be made next turn. Uh, this unit, we're going to make elite. All right. So now I love to add air screens to my carriers with my specialty points, but we're not there yet. So we're going to take this division, we're going to make it elite for now. Okay. We're going to put him on a transport and we're going to put him through. We'll just make him stealth mode, even though it doesn't really matter. We're going to put him through to Australia. So off he goes. Okay. And then we'll move this division back down to Morro Bay. I say back down, just down to Morro Bay. By the way, I went and looked at a house in Morro Bay the other day, or not, that's not true. A property, a lot, because my wife and I are thinking about building a home. And I went to Morro Bay and I thought, oh, I've heard of Morro Bay because of, War in the Pacific Games. There was obviously a big naval base there. That is a small little town. Let me tell you, there's like 10,000 people. They've got one burrito joint, and that's about it. If you wonder, Morro Bay, I don't know, I've heard of Morro Bay. There must be good surfing there because I've heard of that as well. But yeah, there is not much to Morro Bay. Okay, so we moved him back down there. We're off on the train. Oh, I was talking about on the knife's edge. Okay, when he comes out from the west coast, he'll be here, right? Then what do we do? Do we take him to Australia and try to protect here? Or do we take him over here to New Zealand, we could disembark onto this hex. Now he knows that, right? So he's going to move down here this time. So then it's a chess match. Do we come here and disembark here, which makes it impossible for him to take New Zealand, essentially? Um, or do we come over here, drop off, probably not at Melbourne because he's got air assets there, but drop off at maybe Newcastle, Brisbane, Sydney, any of these places, and start to protect Australia with American troops. It's a big, big decision. The third option is to keep going through the whirligig over to India and have that be where we reinforce India. It's a huge decision. I mean, we don't get another well, that transport's reusable, right? But we don't get another one for 2 more turns, and we can't use that one again until the turn after we drop off troops. So it's going to be right on the knife's edge on every single front of where we take this unit. Next time, we're going to have to try to decide that. Also, when we're low on transports, let's look. Okay, we've got an infantry corps small. When we've got 2 transports available, we'll probably take that through. When we've got one available, we could take this one. Although, if we waited an extra turn, we could probably use both of them and put that one through. We've also got the U.S. 40th Division here. I think we can turn that to active. We're eventually going to push that through. 15 on the Marines. They don't build very fast. They will eventually start to rebuild. They do, but it's a little later for whatever reason. Some people have speculated it goes from north to south on the rebuilds or the upgrades and reinforcements. I don't know. But some units just do not reinforce or upgrade. They just don't, and I don't really know why that is. This is only 4 of 10 that we moved over here. Um, I'm actually not loving that now. Let's allow him to retreat if he needs to. No reason to let a unit get shattered for no reason. Okay, I think that's going to do it for this one. This game, ooh, this is going to be fun. This is just going to be right on the edge all the time. This has been Strategy Gaming Dojo. I'll talk to you next time. Have a good one!